This may be the most important health video you hear all year, maybe even in your lifetime, because what I will talk about today hits every aging body, silently, swiftly, brutally. There's an old saying among doctors and therapists, when the legs stop, the grave starts. And they're not exaggerating. The moment your legs begin to weaken, when stairs feel heavier, walks get shorter, and sitting becomes your safest place, your freedom starts slipping away. But here's what no one tells you. It's not just age. It's the daily choices we make, the ones hidden in your habits, your food, even your so-called healthy routines that are quietly draining the life from your legs. And if you don't act now, you may soon face what so many fear: a walker, a fall, a hospital bed, or worse, a life where you can't go where you want, when you want, a life without freedom. But there's hope. Real, natural, powerful hope. Because today, I'm going to walk you through the exact steps to bring strength, stability, and youth back to your legs. This video is divided into 4 deep, detailed parts. In part 1, we'll uncover the everyday habits that are quietly damaging your legs. Yes, even the ones you thought were healthy. You'll be surprised how common some of these are. Then, in part 2, I'll reveal the hidden truth about certain fruits and dry fruits that may actually be making your leg problems worse. They're often labeled as healthy, but for your legs, they could be doing more harm than good. In part 3, I'll walk you through gentle, science-backed movements, safe enough for your 70s or 80s, that help rebuild lost strength, improve blood flow, and lower your risk of serious falls. And finally, in part 4, we'll look at proven supplements that support muscle function, reduce cramps, and help your legs feel stronger when walking, standing, or climbing stairs. So whether you're trying to stay mobile and independent in your golden years, or you're helping someone you love avoid the wheelchair, I want you to stay with me until the very end, because this isn't just about legs. It's about dignity. It's about freedom. It's about the ability to do the things you love without pain, without weakness, and without fear. Let's begin. Most people think leg pain and weakness are just part of getting older. But the truth is, your legs don't suddenly fail because of age. They weaken slowly, silently, from hidden habits and foods we trust every single day. When legs stop, the grave starts. And today, we uncover what's quietly breaking them down. 1. Sitting for hours without moving. Let's begin with the most common destroyer: sitting. Studies show that the average senior sits for over 9 hours a day. But here's what's shocking. After just 2 weeks of being sedentary, people can lose up to 25% of their leg strength. Why? Because when you sit, your leg muscles stop firing. Blood flow slows, muscles shrink. It's called disuse atrophy, and it's like rusting from the inside out. Take Joe, age 81. He loved crossword puzzles and classic movies. But after retiring, his movement dropped to almost nothing. 1 year later, he needed a walker, not because of age, but because his muscles atrophied from disuse. Even standing up and walking for 5 minutes every hour could have kept him mobile. 2. Avoiding strength use out of fear. It's normal to fear falling as we age, but avoiding stairs, skipping walks, or refusing to carry groceries leads to a dangerous spiral. The less you use your legs, the faster you lose them. A study in the Journal of Aging and Physical Activity found that older adults who avoided strength tasks are twice as likely to experience a fall within 1 year. Maria, 74, is proof. She stopped using stairs after one bad stumble. Months later, her legs were so weak, she needed help standing up. But once she began simple chair exercises and resistance bands, her mobility returned in just 8 weeks. Strength is like a bank. If you don't invest, you lose it. 3. Wearing poor-fitting shoes. Shoes are more powerful than most people realize. Wearing shoes with poor arch support or ones that are too tight or loose affects how you walk, causing joint misalignment, knee pain, and muscle strain. In fact, research from Gait and Posture reveals that improper footwear leads to abnormal gait mechanics and increases the risk of falls in seniors. Thomas, age 69, wore flat sandals for years. He thought they were comfortable until his knees and hips began aching. Switching to supportive orthopedic shoes with cushioned soles changed everything. His pain dropped within a week. If your shoes aren't helping your legs, they're hurting them. 4. Not drinking enough water. Muscles are made of nearly 79% water. So when you're dehydrated, your muscles become stiff, weak, and prone to cramps. A study from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition showed that even mild dehydration reduces muscle performance by 12% or more in older adults. Ruth, 77, suffered from nightly leg cramps for years. Doctors gave her pills, but nothing worked until she added 2 extra glasses of water and some sea salt for natural electrolytes. Her cramps vanished in a week. Dehydration is an invisible thief, and it robs your strength quietly. Now, let's talk about food. Some fruits and healthy foods can secretly sabotage your legs, especially when eaten the wrong way. Number 1. High fructose fruits on an empty stomach. Fruits like bananas, grapes, mangoes, and dried dates are rich in natural sugars. But when eaten alone, especially on an empty stomach, they cause a blood sugar spike, followed by inflammation and lactic acid buildup. This makes your leg muscles feel heavy, sore, and sluggish. A 2022 study in Nutrients found that high fructose diets in older adults led to increased muscle fatigue markers and reduced recovery after exercise. If you love fruit, pair it with protein like eggs, nuts, or Greek yogurt to stabilize the effect. 2. Nightshade vegetables for sensitive individuals. Some people are sensitive to a natural chemical called solanine found in tomatoes, bell peppers, eggplants, and potatoes. For these people, nightshades can cause joint inflammation, stiffness, and even shooting leg pain. Henry, a 72-year-old gardener, suffered knee pain that flared every time he ate spaghetti or stuffed peppers. After eliminating nightshades for 30 days, his pain dropped by over 70%. If your legs ache without reason, try a nightshade-free month. It might surprise you. 3. Refined grains and sugar. White bread, sugary cereal, cookies, muffins. These foods may be comforting, but they spike your insulin, raise inflammation, and lead to early muscle fatigue. The Journal of Cachexia, Sarcopenia, and Muscle confirmed that diets high in refined carbs contribute to sarcopenia, the age-related loss of muscle mass and strength. Processed carbs rob your legs of power without you even noticing, until one day you can't get up from a chair easily. Question 4. Too much caffeine without food. Caffeine isn't bad. In fact, it can help muscle performance when used correctly. But when you drink coffee on an empty stomach, it can trigger dehydration, strip electrolytes like magnesium, and worsen cramps. Over time, it elevates cortisol, a stress hormone that, when chronically high, breaks down muscle tissue. Instead, have your coffee with food and water. It's not about giving it up, it's about using it wisely. So, what's the Part 1 recap acronym? We call it SAFE, because that's what your legs become when you follow this. S. Stop prolonged sitting. A. Avoid fruit-only breakfasts. F. Fix your shoe fit and support. E. Eliminate excess caffeine and sugar. All right, that wraps up Part 1. You've now learned what's secretly harming your legs, and it's probably been happening for years without your knowledge. But don't worry, the damage isn't permanent. In Part 2, you'll discover the foods, habits, and nutrients that are creating problems, but you don't know them. Let's move forward. Your legs are worth saving. So let me ask you something. When you think of healthy snacks, what comes to mind? Fruit? Trail mix? Maybe a handful of dried dates? or a ripe banana with your morning coffee. Sounds healthy, right? Well, here's the shocker. Certain fruits and dry fruits, especially when eaten the wrong way, can quietly destroy your leg health. And the damage? It doesn't show up immediately, but over time, it creeps in as joint stiffness, chronic swelling, and mysterious leg pain that just won't go away. Let's break it down. High sugar fruits equals inflammation fuel. Fruits like overripe bananas, grapes, and mangoes have a high glycemic index. That means they spike your blood sugar fast, especially when eaten alone on an empty stomach. What happens next? Your body pumps out insulin. That insulin surge leads to a spike in inflammation. Worse, it triggers the formation of harmful compounds called advanced glycation end products, or AGEs for short. Think of AGEs like microscopic glue. They bind to your muscle tissue, collagen, and joints, making everything stiffer, slower, and more painful. According to a 2017 study published in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism, higher levels of AGEs were linked to weaker muscle strength and higher levels of inflammatory markers in older adults. So yes, a sweet banana may taste harmless, but if it's overripe and eaten without fat or protein, it's a silent trigger for joint trouble. Let's talk about those snack packs. Dried mango strips, sweetened cranberries, golden raisins. They look innocent, but check the labels. Most are coated in added sugar or preserved with sulfur dioxide, a chemical linked to gut irritation and immune reactions. When your gut is inflamed, your immune system becomes hyperactive. That systemic inflammation can travel to your knees, ankles, and hips, making you feel older than you are. Even unsweetened dried fruits are highly concentrated in fructose, the fruit sugar that feeds AGEs. So that healthy handful could be doing more harm than good. Now, what about dry fruits? Let's start with cashews. They're delicious, but also high in oxalates. Oxalates are natural plant compounds that can bind to calcium, form crystals, and irritate the joints in sensitive individuals, especially people with arthritis or kidney issues. Next, salted pistachios and roasted peanuts. They're often cooked in vegetable oils, high in omega-6 fats, and coated in sodium. Too much sodium causes water retention in the legs, and omega-6 fats, when not balanced with omega-3s, act like gasoline on the fire of inflammation. Want a real-life example? Angela, 66, worked a desk job and snacked healthy, or so she thought. Every afternoon, she had a cup of trail mix, dried mangoes, sweetened cranberries, roasted cashews, and honey-coated peanuts. But within 6 months, she started noticing swelling around her knees, stiffness in the morning, and leg fatigue even after short walks. She thought it was age, but after replacing her snack with fresh cherries and raw walnuts, both rich in anti-inflammatory compounds, her symptoms improved drastically within just 3 weeks. Her blood markers of inflammation dropped, her energy came back, and her legs stopped aching. Sometimes the answer isn't in medicine, it's in what's on your plate. Let's dive deeper into AGEs because they're crucial. Advanced glycation end products form when sugar reacts with protein or fat in the body. It's like a caramelization process, but inside your muscles and joints. The more AGEs you accumulate, the stiffer your tissues become, and the slower your body repairs after physical activity. In one long-term study, researchers found that participants with the highest AGE levels had significantly lower grip strength, weaker legs, and slower walking speeds compared to those with low AGE levels. This is not just about snacks. It's about preserving the mobility that lets you live independently. Let's lock this in with the acronym FRUITS. To remember which fruits and nuts could harm your legs, just use F. Fake dry fruits with sugar. Think of sulfur-dried mangoes, sweetened raisins, and pineapple bits. Your joints hate these. R. Ripened bananas. The browner they get, the higher the sugar, and the faster they trigger insulin and AGEs. U. Unbalanced mango intake. Eating high fructose fruits without fiber or fat causes blood sugar chaos and chronic fatigue. I. Inflammatory nuts. Salted peanuts, cashews, and pistachios roasted in bad oils, not your friends. T. Transformed fruits. Anything chemically treated, preserved, dyed, or enhanced. Ditch it. S. Sugary bombs. If it tastes like candy, it behaves like candy, hurting your joints from the inside. So here's the takeaway. Not all fruits are your friends. Some sneak into your diet disguised as healthy, but quietly rob your legs of strength, stability, and recovery. Let's move on to the third part. If you want to stay mobile, independent, and full of energy into your 60s, 70s, and beyond, and you've got to take care of the muscles that carry you through life. And the best part? You don't need a gym. Just a few simple exercises combined with the right fruits can restore flexibility, strength, and blood flow to your legs, no matter your age. Let's break it down, step by step. 1. Bodyweight squats, your mobility multivitamin. Squats are one of the most powerful movements you can do. They activate your quads, hamstrings, glutes, lower back, and core, all in one motion. And they're not just for athletes. In a study published in the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research, older adults who performed bodyweight squats just 3 times a week showed improved leg strength, mobility, and even memory performance. Why memory? Because squats increase blood flow to the brain, releasing BDNF, a brain-derived neurotrophic factor that supports cognitive function. So yes, squats sharpen your brain while they strengthen your legs. 2. Calf raises on stairs, the circulation booster. Next time you walk past a staircase, stop. Stand on the edge of the bottom step, let your heels drop, then raise them high. This simple movement strengthens the soleus and gastrocnemius, the deep calf muscles that act like a second heart. They pump blood upward from your legs back to the heart. This is critical because as we age, the risk of blood pooling, swelling, and even varicose veins increases. Regular calf raises, especially on a stair, help improve venous return, reduce leg fatigue, and prevent circulation-related cramping. 3. Glute bridges, the posture protector. If you sit a lot, your glutes become weak and your hip flexors shorten. This throws off your alignment and puts pressure on the knees and lower back. By squeezing your glutes and lifting your hips off the ground, you activate the posterior chain, the system of muscles that supports your spine and pelvis. A study in clinical biomechanics showed that patients with chronic lower back pain experienced reduced pain and better hip mobility after 6 weeks of glute bridge training. 4. Wall sits. Build endurance without movement. Here's a trick. Lean your back against a wall. Lower into a seated position and hold. This isometric exercise works your quadriceps hard without requiring any fancy movement. It strengthens the muscles that support the knees and hips, improves muscle endurance, and helps with balance stability, especially important for fall prevention in older adults. Even holding for 30 seconds a day can make a difference. 5. Leg swings. Wake up your hips. Stand tall and swing one leg forward and back, then side to side. This dynamic warm-up opens your hip flexors, lubricates the joints, and improves range of motion. As we age, synovial fluid in the joints becomes less active. Leg swings encourage fluid production, reducing joint stiffness and preparing the legs for safe activity. It's the perfect way to start any walk or exercise session. 6. Toe walking. Train your feet and calves. You probably haven't walked on your toes since you were a kid, but here's why you should bring it back. Toe walking activates the calves, strengthens the arches of your feet, and improves proprioception. your body's sense of position and movement. Better proprioception equals fewer stumbles, better balance, and a reduced risk of falls. Try walking across a room on your toes twice a day. 7. Lying leg raises. Gentle strength for the front thighs. Lie on your back. Raise one leg up while keeping the other bent. This simple move strengthens your hip flexors and quadriceps without putting stress on the knees. It's especially useful if you're recovering from an injury, have knee arthritis, or haven't exercised in a while. Research in the Journal of Geriatric Physical Therapy found that leg raises improved gait speed, lower limb control, and confidence in mobility in adults over 65. Real-life turnaround meets Susan, 63. Years of desk work left her with stiff knees, lower back tension, and swelling after even short walks. She committed to just 15 minutes a day, 4 times a week. Body weight squats, glute bridges, calf raises on stairs. She also swapped her sugary snacks for pomegranate juice and a cup of fresh cherries with breakfast. In 4 weeks, her walking speed increased. Knee pain dropped. Superfruits that rebuild and recharge. Let's talk food, specifically fruits that heal, because movement is half the battle. The other half is what you feed your muscles. Here are 7 science-backed fruits to boost your leg health. Cherries. Rich in anthocyanins, cherries reduce exercise-induced muscle soreness and inflammation. A study in the Scandinavian Journal of Medicine and Science in Sports found that cherry juice sped up muscle recovery in adults after intense leg workouts. Blueberries contain powerful antioxidants that protect blood vessels and reduce oxidative stress. This helps keep arteries open and circulation strong. Avocados, high in potassium and magnesium, 2 minerals essential for muscle contraction and relaxation. They also reduce cramping and fatigue. Oranges, packed with vitamin C, critical for collagen formation. Collagen is what keeps your joints supple and your tendons strong. Pomegranates, a nitric oxide booster. This increases vascular dilation, sending more blood and oxygen to your legs. Better blood flow equals faster healing and more strength. Kiwi, high in magnesium, which helps muscles relapse after contraction and supports nerve communication. Fresh papaya, loaded with papain and chymopapane, enzymes that help break down damaged tissue and reduce inflammation in muscles. Acronym LEGs. To lock this in, just remember: L, lunges and leg raises, gentle movement for stability. E, elevate your calves, calf raises to keep blood flowing. G, glute bridges, protect your hips and spine. S, superfruits, fuel your recovery from the inside out. Final word: you don't need expensive machines or hours in the gym. Just a simple, consistent routine, backed by science and powered by nature. Train your legs every week, and you'll feel stronger, walk farther, and move like someone decades younger. Your body remembers how to heal. It just needs the right inputs. Part 4. Supplements, minerals, and recovery habits that support muscle function. You can eat right and move daily. But if your minerals and recovery habits aren't dialed in, your legs won't fully recover or rebuild. Because here's the truth: as we age, our absorption of key nutrients drops, our muscles don't repair as fast, and our inflammation doesn't settle on its own. But you can fix that naturally with a few evidence-backed supplements and daily recovery rituals. You can restore your muscle strength and reduce those aches that just won't go away. Let's break it down. Magnesium, the mineral of movement. Magnesium is the #1 mineral deficiency in adults over 50. And that's a big deal, because magnesium helps with muscle relaxation, energy production, ATP synthesis. Calcium balance prevents cramping. A clinical trial published in Nutrients found that older adults with higher magnesium levels had better muscle performance and less inflammation. Low magnesium equals tight calves, twitching muscles, restless legs at night. Best forms: magnesium glycinate for relaxation or magnesium citrate for digestion support. Food sources: spinach, pumpkin seeds, avocado, and dark chocolate. 2. Creatine, not just for bodybuilders. Yes, creatine is safe, and yes, it works for seniors too. In fact, a 2021 meta-analysis in the Journal of Cachexia, Sarcopenia, and Muscle found that older adults supplementing with creatine gained more lean muscle mass, leg strength, and walking speed, especially when paired with resistance training. Creatine helps your muscles recycle energy quickly, reduces fatigue during activity, and promotes faster muscle repair after exertion. How to take: 3 to 5 grams daily with water or a post-meal smoothie. Bonus tip: take it after leg workouts for faster recovery. 3. Electrolytes, the forgotten leg saver. If you've ever had a cramp in the middle of the night, you likely needed more potassium, sodium, or magnesium. Your muscles contract and relax using electrical signals, and electrolytes are what carry those signals. Even mild dehydration can trigger misfiring nerves, twitches, or full-blown cramps. Signs you're low: fatigue, headaches, muscle spasms, brain fog. Smart solution: add a pinch of sea salt, lemon, and a splash of coconut water to your morning drink, or use an unsweetened electrolyte powder post-exercise. 4. Adaptogens, herbs that calm and restore. Adaptogens help the body adapt to stress, whether physical, emotional, or metabolic. Why does that matter for your legs? Because cortisol, the stress hormone, breaks down muscle tissue, slows recovery, and causes water retention in the lower limbs. The right adaptogens reduce this. Top picks: ashwagandha lowers cortisol, improves strength, shown in studies to increase leg power in seniors. Rhodiola reduces fatigue and muscle damage after exercise. Shilajit, ancient Himalayan resin rich in fulvic acid, increases mitochondrial energy and improves oxygen delivery to leg muscles. A 2022 trial published in Frontiers in Aging showed that older adults taking adaptogens like ashwagandha recovered faster from walking-induced inflammation and reported less next-day soreness. 5. Recovery habits that actually work. Supplements matter, but habits make them effective. Let's talk recovery. Sleep deeply, not just long. Your body repairs muscle tissue during deep sleep, not just when you lie down. Growth hormone spikes at night. If your sleep is shallow, your recovery suffers. Pro tip: avoid screens an hour before bed, keep the room cool, and take magnesium or glycine before sleep to improve recovery quality. Contrast showers. Boost circulation. Alternating hot and cold water in the shower triggers vasodilation and vasoconstriction, a pump effect that improves blood flow to the legs. This helps flush out metabolic waste and bring in fresh oxygen and nutrients. Try 30 seconds cold, 1 minute warm. Repeat 3 times. Leg up the wall pose. This yoga pose improves lymphatic drainage, reduces swelling in the ankles, and helps you fall asleep faster. Just lie down, legs up against the wall for 10 minutes in the evening. Bonus: it calms your nervous system and reduces cortisol. Gentle morning stretches. Don't wait for pain to show up. Every morning, try 3 minutes of light dynamic movement. March in place, swing your legs, rotate ankles and knees. Stretch the calves against the wall. These movements rehydrate the fascia, your connective tissue, and prep your legs for the day ahead. Real-life recovery story. Tate David, age 71. A retired engineer, David loved morning walks until recurring calf cramps and fatigue started to slow him down. He added a magnesium citrate supplement, creatine post-workout, evening leg up the wall pose, an electrolyte drink with coconut water and sea salt. He also started doing toe walking and squats twice a week. Within 3 weeks, He reported 0 nighttime cramps, improved walking distance, and the ability to play with his grandkids at the park, pain-free. He didn't change everything. He just added what his body had been missing. Acronym: REST. Let's sum it up with a simple acronym. Replenish minerals, magnesium, potassium, electrolytes. Eat muscle-smart supplements, creatine, adaptogens. Sleep deeply and stretch daily. Take contrast showers and elevate your legs. Final takeaway: you don't have to watch your strength fade away. You don't have to accept pain, stiffness, or fear of falling as just part of getting older. Your legs have carried you through every chapter of life, through work, through family, through joy and hardship. They deserve care. They deserve healing. And so do you. If this message spoke to you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who needs hope. Give it a like if you felt seen. And most importantly, subscribe to Biotics Edge for more real, natural ways to reclaim your health. At Biotics Edge, we believe in healing that empowers, because it's never too late to walk tall again. We'll see you in the next video. Until then, stay rooted, stay rising.